Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
Okay, so today I'm going to teach you how to use container. Okay, how to use container, because if you have created and started a container and you are not able to use it, that container, what is the use of it then? This is just a waste of time, right? So how to use a container? So for that, okay, so guys, how to use container? Before that, I want to teach you two things, guys. Before that, I want to teach you two things. One is a rule which you need to remember. This rule you can remember right now, but again, if you want to deep dive more into that, you are welcome to do that. It's all about the system behavior. Okay, and this is a typically I'm talking in the context of Linux, and the things the concept rule is physical server is running. Physical server is running. Running means running. It's not shut down. Understand that. Cause of PID1 is running. Simple statement. Physical server is running. Cause of PID1 is running. Virtual server is running. Cause of PID1 is running. Yesterday I have shown you, right? In the virtual server, the VMs, system D was running PID1. I hope you remember, in a daemon mode. Correct? So virtual server is running only cause of PID1 is running. So guys, container is running. Okay, container is running cause of PID1 is running. Simple straight. So if you tell me in a different way, in short, I'll tell you, if the PID on of the container is not running, your container will be exited. In state will be exited. Status will be exited. If your PID one of your virtual machine is not running, okay, your virtual machine gets shut down, power off. Or your physical server's PID one is not running, your physical server is also power off. So guys, this you need to remember. Any questions? Any questions here? Now guys, second thing is, in the rule physical server, PID1 is your system D. Yeah, here PID1 is your system D. In the virtual server also, because it's operating system, PID1 is your system D. Yesterday I have shown you PID1 was system D, correct? But guys, in a container, PID PID1 is anything. When I say anything, means anything, such as Java, Python, Perl, Ruby, what else? bash x y z. Anything means anything, guys. And as long as this is running, your container is running. Will you remember this? Will you remember this rule?
So this PID one within the container, you're talking about the PID one within the container, right?
Yes. PID1 within a container. PID1 is within the virtual machine. PID1 is within the physical machines, physical server. PID1, when you launch the physical server, 0 then become a PID1. Virtual server,
Right.
0 and then PID1. Container also get their PID1. But this is the importance of PID1. Okay. Now this statement, I hope you can remember all the time. Let me tell you, if you can't remember, no problem. You will not understand the container's behavior. You always feel lost. Why this is getting stopped? Why this is getting exited? Why this is running? So you have to remember this. Okay. So now let me prove these points right now. So this is yesterday's session. Today I have to initiate this. Okay, I'm just proving my points, whatever I taught you. So it will be permanent for you also. So here, CentOS 1. Guys, this is my virtual box. Agree with me, all of you? This is my virtual box. It's run by AWS. Correct? Correct?
Mm.
Yeah, so PS-EAF. Look at this, my screen, guys. Here, look at this PID1. And what is this? PID1 is systemd. So PID1 is systemd in virtual server. Okay. Now in container, I said PID1 can be anything, and same time, if PID1 is not running, your container will get exit. So what is this? Let me show you here. So guys, Docker PS. See, my Docker is not running. So it says cannot connect to Docker daemon at this one. So it's not running cause of that. It's so I need to start the enable and start the services. Enable Docker and start a Docker. Okay, so you don't have to do that because I think I did not enable last time. So right now you see here I do not have any container. Okay, I do not have any container. So what I'll do, I'll create one container, Docker ps-a. I have a 2 container in exit state. Look at this, exited. Now what is a command? This command will show you PID1. Bentini. Can I start this container instead of creating it?
Yeah.
I started this container. Now it's up. Yes. Now you have a 2 container running. Can I see the process running inside a container? Mind it. Each container get one PID table, PID namespaces. So here can I see that? So Docker execute inside this container. What? Look at this. Okay. So see here. One Bentini. So your container is running because of PID1 is running. Yeah. Because of this. If this not running, PID1 is not in running state, your container also get exited, the one which I had happened last time. So what happens basically when you stop, you did no docker stop. When you stop the container, basically it kill this guy. Okay. So that is what it happens. Now one more thing here, I have a 2 container running, right? So that's a 2 jenkins.sh, 2 jenkins.var. You can see, look at this here, it's a host machine. See here. Basically it's inside that, it's isolation and it's running with the PID 1 and 6, but actually the same process for the host machine, it's here. Look at this. So now I want to kill this guy. So either you kill this one or you kill this one. I want to kill this one, PID 1. So what to do? So docker ps docker, I will go inside a container. Okay, so I'm going inside a container, it, yesterday I taught you, and bin bash. Okay, right now same command without exec I must try. See here, can I kill this PID1? See, look at this. You see here, did you understand this? But I'll go inside this again, this time second container I'll do this. Second container 288. I can kill from outside also. And look at this, guys. See here. Who are you? Tell me. Who are you? Any idea? Who are you? Which PID you are? Anyone would like to tell me? Guys,
It is PD1, right?
who are you? Guys, I'm showing you the results on the screen also.
Bash.
Yeah, you're a bash. Who are you? See, PS will give you that your user process, okay? And PS-EF will give you all the process running inside a container or system. Okay, so here I am bash. Remember I did, see here, I executed bin bash to get inside this. So right now I'm a bash. So if I kill PID1, container got exited last time I showed you. This time I'll kill 70. Okay, and see here. Nothing. Let's kill forcefully. See. So when I kill 70, why it did not get killed, guys? And with -9 it got killed, and the container is still running because I kill different process than this one. But why here it did not get killed and why here it got killed?
Maybe we are already in the bash, so it will not allow to kill the same PID.
Yeah, actually suicide, in the simple way if I put it, suicide is not allowed actually. So you were doing the suicide here. They said no, you can't do that. So I did forcefully here. Correct?
Forceful suicide is allowed.
No, I want to kill myself. So that is allowed, that you can do that. So it's like this. So here, see, the container is still running. So here, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, but
If
one thing, Rajesh. Now, since the bash is killed, so we cannot log in back in the bash now.
again, we'll create one more session for that. This will be new session. This will be new
Oh, okay.
PID. See, last time it was 70. It's 82. You can kill bash through exit also. Done. Container is still running.
Okay.
Okay. So now what I'm trying to tell you here is this concept. So container is running as long as the PID1 is running, and PID1 can be anything. Here it is a Bintini. Okay, it is a Bintini. Now what I will do, guys, I'll teach you one more command which will be time saving for me and you also. And that command is run command. You know one thing, we all use run command only. We all use run command only. So all this thing you have to understand this. I'm writing the history of the command which I am running in order to prove it. So okay, so what is run? So guys, run has few behavior and you need to understand. So that is, run has behavior of pull and then create and then start. Yeah, that means all commands together they do that. And then one last thing, become. Run has a behavior for pull, create, one new container will be created, okay, start, and become. So become means what? Become container process, PID1, or you can also call it attached to the container. Attached to the container. Okay. Now this behavior I would like to show you first. Run is very powerful command. We all use it. So you need to know. So here
Is it
what happened?
attached? Is it attached to the container or attached to the main machine, basically?
Main machine means?
I mean, the moment only we start, then only we are able to see the, like yesterday when we saw, right, that when we give the df-hk command, when the container starts, then only we can see the entry into the file system
Right.
of
So
the
here
main
is
machine.
starting also, right? Here you see.
So container process PID or attach that container to the file system of the main computer, basically.
No. This attachments both are same actually. Both statement are same. So you
Okay.
become container. That means you become container PID1, or your session get attached to the container. Container means again PID1. Okay.
Okay.
I'll show you this one. So here pull means here creating a new container, starting a new container, and then all this thing. So now guys, here let me do that. Docker run Jenkins. You see here, Docker run Jenkins. Enter. See what happened. It did the create. Pull was already done last time. Then started the container, and this has happened. That's the reason I was earlier I was a bash. Remember, earlier I was a bash, but now I become a Bintini because I have shown you Jenkins has a PID1 Bintini. So right now what you are saying, I lost my console. See, bash is useful for human being. Bash, see here, I'm Bintini. Bintini don't understand any of my commands. See here, look at it. What you are right now? You are a Bintini. Why? Because we did run. Run behavior is start the container and become to that PID1. So right now, Bintini, someone you will use the Jenkins from the browser. This you will get some logs here, whatever it's been requested. So guys, the bash human interact with the computer using shell. Human cannot interact with the computer without a shell. Else you have to use the mouse or keyboard, right? So you have to interact with the shell only. But Bintini is not a shell. He did not understand your commands. So I'm helpless now. So what do we do in this case? Bintini understand control C. Remember, you are on the PID1. Interesting thing is you are on PID1 because I showed you Bintini was PID1 at that time. So PID1, Bintini is a PID1. I am on a Bintini, and Bintini to kill, we press Control C because it can't understand any of my command. So Control C, see here, and if I do Docker ps, see here, this container got exited. Okay, see the behavior. This container got exited. Why? Because earlier I was on Bintini and Control C killed the Bintini. Bintini was killed. Think about it again. Bintini was killed. PID1 got killed. PID1 got killed. Container got exited. So, did you understand the behavior of run? Now, guys, I'm getting bored with this image. Okay, Jenkins, mind it. I repeat, Jenkins is having three things. If you have forgotten, let me show you. Jenkins is having a root file system, user file system, and an app. App means Java and Jenkins. Now I'll go for the root file system alone, only root file system, Ubuntu. So guys, here what I am doing, I am saying Docker, see here, run Ubuntu. I told you very clearly, run has a pull functionality. Ubuntu image was not there, so it downloaded it. Guys, I am very little explaining you slow so you understand well. Image ID. See here, it got downloaded. And here I see, can I see run means run will create. Guys, run will create new container, create and start it also. And if this started, then only you can become or attach to the container. Remember, this will happen only when the container is running. So can I see that container? Oops, container is not running, but I run Ubuntu. I should be having container, but now it's not running. Why? It got exited. See guys, think, same command I run with Jenkins image, I become container such as Bintini, but the same command I run with Ubuntu, I did not become bin bash. Here you see PID1 is bin bash and this got exited. The question is why this got exited? Anyone have a questions? The question is why this got exited. Anyone? Guys, are you there? Hello, am I audible? Yeah. So why this is exited? Bin bash, why this got exited? Guys, very simple concept. And you've been trying from last 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever, which depends on. See, ls, again ls. No, 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 I'm not inside the Jenkins. Where I'm inside the Jenkins? I'm inside the VM. See guys, here what has run, think about it, very simple concept. Everything is just old stuff only. This container got exited because of bin bash got exited. The question is why bin bash got exited. Mind it. Mind it. Bin bash is one executable. When you run some executable, what happens? What happens? It get exited. Simple. It performed the task and exited. See, ls is one executable. dir is executable. ps is executable. Bin bash is executable as well. So here, what happened? Get exited. Get exited. So what I'm trying to tell you here is bin bash is getting exited as per their normal behavior. So here exited means what? This container has run at least once. Then only it's exited, else it'll be created. You saw that yesterday. So that means what has happened? The container got created, mind it. Then started also. And then before becoming, it got stopped and exited. So when it get exited, how can you do this? So that's the reason bin bash get exited. So guys, this is the typical behavior. When you don't want any executable to get exited, typically you run with what? You know, daemon mode. Many people say run in a service man or run in a add the ampersand or something like that in Linux command. Run in the background, you call it, right? There's a different approach to run different executable in the background, correct? To avoid that. But the concept is very clear, guys. Please mind it. Container is running because a PID1 is running, and a PID1 can be anything, and as long as the PID1 is running, your container is running. So this got exited. Why? Because of PID1 is bin bash. And now who set the PID1? The developer of image set the PID1. Developer of the image. That means you are going to become a developer today, and you will set the PID1. Okay. So guys, I hope this concept with these examples is 100% clear. I hope. If you have still confusion, please say, and I will try to help you out. Is it clear for everyone? Please, can you please vote in the chat? Okay, so guys, now I taught you one command which is run, but the question is how to do not become. See, when I do docker run, think about it. Hi, run Jenkins, I lose my console. See here, I lost my console. I don't want to lose it. So what to do? So I want to run -d detached mode.
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 399 plan and grow your skills immensely.
If you run -d detached mode, so here do not become or do not attach to container. So now this is the way to do that. So now you see a Docker run -d, see here Jenkins and Docker ps, you see here it's running. One more container, see here it's running. But same thing if you do with Docker D Ubuntu, nothing will happen because in that container PID1 itself getting exited, so nothing can be done. Nothing can be done. So there is some tricks are there. I'll explain it to you sometime. Okay, this one. So guys, I hope you are clear with run and run -d also. Okay, any questions, guys? Okay, so this is the run -d. Now guys, with that I want to teach you, because the question was something different, how to use container, correct? Now how to use container. So guys, I would like to ask you a few questions. If you can speak up, I'll feel very good, because sometimes I feel I'm talking to computer whole day actually. So when you run laptop and some application inside it, or when you run virtual machines and some applications inside it, what you do typically with laptop or virtual machine? Can you tell me? What you do with the laptop and virtual machines?
We run application.
So first we need to start our laptop or virtual machine. Then we have to run our application on top of it.
Yeah. So you run, and after that?
After that, the application process will start, right? It will OS runtime executor will run the application.
Yeah, correct. So guys, what I am trying to tell you, you have answered my question, but I'll put it in a context. You do only two things, guys. What you do with compute unit. Guys, compute unit means I'm using the standard keyword. Your laptop is also compute unit. Your virtual machine is also compute unit. Your container is also compute unit. Mind it. Yeah, it's a compute unit. So what you do with it? So either you go inside, okay, go inside and do something. I don't know. I don't care that one also. You go inside or access from outside through network. This is that something you do. You don't do anything else also. You go inside and do whatever you want, or access some application running in a compute unit from outside and do whatever you want. So this is something which you do with a compute unit. So here, how to use container. So guys, either you go inside container and do whatever you want, and you know well what you want, what you can do, what you've been doing in the physical machines or VMs, or you can access from outside also. If some application is running inside a container through the network, you can access from outside. So question is how to go inside. So guys, there are two commands are given: exec and attach. Okay, exec and attach. So guys, what is exec? So guys, please understand that's very important sessions for you, because see, in Docker, there are hardly few commands are there, 20 to 25. But if you could not understand their behaviors, you will always feel lost. Always feel lost. Because behaviors are different. And for that only I'm teaching you. I'm not teaching you any command. I'm teaching you behavior of the command. So here there are two ways in which you can go inside a container. There is one command which is called exec, and another command which we have is attach. So what is exec is doing? So guys, this command would execute an executable inside a container. Yes, using this command, you can execute an executable inside a container. Mind it. Can I prove this? Guys, look at my screen. Here, Docker PS. Right now I have a 3 container of Jenkins, by the way. So Docker exec which container? What you want to execute, sir? I want to execute ls. Mind it, this output is inside of container. I want to execute ps. I want to execute ps-eaf. Mind it, output is inside a container. I want to execute df-kh. Mind it, output is of inside a container. I want to execute ABC, and output is of inside a container. Why this error has come? Anyone would like to tell me? ABC could not execute. Why?
There is no app with name ABC.
So executable ABC is not inside a container and also set in the path. So it's a normal issue, guys. If I type ABC in VM also, see here, command not found. Simple. So guys, this is proven. What is exec command? This is proven. Now guys, the question was not how to execute an executable. The question was how to go inside it. So guys, you know what? What you are? You are a human being. So when you go inside a container, you want to work with a compute using what? Some shell has to be there. Some shell. It can be bash shell, it can be sh, it can be con, any shell. In Linux we have a bash shell which is very popular. In Windows you have a PowerShell which is popular. Again, I must tell you, please forget about the console and GUI world. In the world of container, we are not talking about the console. If you want to work with the Windows container, you need to know PowerShell. If you want to work with the Linux container, you need to know about the bash shell or C shell or con shell or any shell. Okay, so right now you are a human being and you want to go inside using exec command. So what you can do with IT means interactive. I want to interact with the container, but how can you interact? So this is the option to tell container, I want to interact with you. Are you ready? So container says yes, you can interact with me using IT option, but because you are a human being, you have to use some shell. You can go inside. Are you understanding this, guys? So exec command will help you to execute an executable inside a container. But what happens when you use exec with IT combination and with a bin bash? You can go inside it. Can I do that? I did it same thing yesterday also. I hope you remember, and you also did it in order to prove this. So here, Docker, what is happening with me? See here, there's a 3 containers. I will go inside this exec-it interactive, which container? And interacting, you are a human being, always shell bin bash. Right now, where are you guys? Where are you?
Inside the container.
Yeah, inside a container. And who are you? What is your PID number? Can you please tell me? Who are you?
That's
One.
bash
No, no,
99.
no.
No,
No.
bash is 99.
Yeah, 99. You are 99. You are 99. See here. And this is the temporary, the one which I here. Okay. So guys, bin bash get killed by exit. I'm out of the container. Container is still running. So guys, this is the concept, and this is the how you can work with it. So guys, here I talked about exec command, which you can go use and go inside it. But what is attach? So guys, attach is very easy. I hope you remember the behavior of this one. Become container process ID PID1 or aka attached to the container. So sometime what happens, you want to see, so your PID1 is running with you see, I said very clearly guys, it can be Apache, it can be Tomcat, it can be Java, it can be Python, it can be Selenium, it can be Perl, it can be Ruby, it can be anything. Sometime what happens, you want to see the PID1 logs, and in that case you want to attach it to the console of PID1. For example, I want to attach how many containers I'm having right now. See here, 1, 2, 3. So here docker attach and to this container. Many people will ask me, last session people asked me, I got stuck. Rajesh, can you help me? Guys, please remember, you did not got stuck. You are somewhere, and where are you? Where are you?
Okay, so we are in the console of this container ID.
Bintini. You are on Bintini. Bintini don't understand anything. If you run the Jenkins from the front end, this will be bombarded with the logs. Got it? Right now you're not using it, so no logs is being generated. So you're not getting stuck, guys. You are on Bintini. Mind it. So if I do Control C, I kill that containers basically, because you know that PID1 get killed, container will get exited.
No, but if we are attaching ourselves to a container, then if we are putting Control C and that is the only command accepted, then there is no way to detach it then.
There is no way to detach when you are on PID1. Yes. Okay, one more thing, guys. One more thing. Control C is not a command given by Docker. Mind it here. Bintini understand Control D. If you say Control Z, Control D, Bintini don't understand. These commands is understood by the utility itself. Whereas Bintini is understood by Control C. Sorry, Control C is understood by the Bintini, so I used it. If I don't know that utility, that shortcut command, then I'll have to open up a new console. That is gone. Kill that console. Make sure that. Okay. So now this is the attach. So guys, attach, same thing. PID1. Okay. So now the question I am trying to tell you right now, you have a one container Ubuntu. Is there any way? Is there any way? Think. Is there any way I can run this container also? Bin bash should not get exited, because Bintini is in a demonized mode actually. So it will not get exit automatically. But bin bash is a utility. It's not a demonized mode. It's not running in the demonized and background. So it will get exited. This will get exited. Container will get exited. So this time what I'll do, I'll play with it. I will play with it. How to play? I'll say, okay, bin bash, please do not exit. Wait for it. How can you say that? So Docker run. Look at this here. Very simple. Now when I say run, please remember okay, but I will do one more thing here. This time run. So run will create and start a container, correct? No? And this time I'm saying container, wait, I want to interact with you. Okay. So here I said run and wait, don't exit. Bin bash here I'm saying when he started, I saying wait, bin bash, don't exit. I want to interact with you, because here if you see, this one also tried -it bin bash. So I'm saying run -it, wait, I want to interact with you. Which container of that? Ubuntu. And you want to interact again with which utility? You are a human being, so of course you will use some shell. So bin bash. So see here, what will happen? Docker run. Run means create and start, and it will try to become PID1. Become a PID1 of what? Bin bash, in an interactive way. So you see here, where are you right now?
Inside the container.
Yeah, I interacted. See here. Who are you right now?
Bash.
What is your PID number?
1 is the PID.
Yeah, 1. So guys, you are a 1. Kill 1. Suicide is not allowed. See here. Suicide is not allowed. So you have to do the indirect suicide. You have to tell someone else, kill me, so I'll get killed. So exit, see here the relationship. Exit is a killing command. You can write a -9 also, by the way. Exit is a killing command for bin bash. Here I'm not killing the PID1 directly, indirectly. Exit will kill the bin bash, the session. Bin bash will get killed 1. Gone. So I hope you now understand very well the behavior. One more time, guys. Where are you right now? Inside a container. Now I don't want to exit. I want to keep it running. So what to do? So guys, mind it here. Mind it here. How to, this command I'm teaching you, how to come out of the container when you are bash. Mind it here. This is a very important statement. Many people think, no, this will work with every scenario. I want to come out of the container when you are a bash. I want to come out of this. I can't type exit, guys. I don't want to. I want to come out of the container without killing it, without exiting. Okay, exiting. And when you are a bash. So what to do now? So guys, there is one command which bash understand, and that is control. I said again, mind it. I said bash understand, not Bintin. Bintin will not understand this command actually. Control P plus Q. Okay. So here, guys, control. Where is my control? By the way, it's here. Control PQ. See here. Where are you? Now, guys, see the beauty. Container is running. These guys, you know what they're thinking? This guy is thinking someone has interacted with me. I will exit when it's time for exiting, but someone has interacted with me. But I played a trick. I kept this one running in an interactive mode, mind it, interactive mode, and got come out of the session very beautifully. This command is only understood by bash. So yes, this will help you to run the Ubuntu containers, the one which is getting exited also, kind of behavior. Okay guys, did you understand this? Did you understand this? Okay, so now guys, I don't want to go inside it also. So guys, look at my screen here. Docker run -it Ubuntu and bin bash. Okay, bin bash you don't have to specify, by the way, because it's already set in the PID one. But here I don't want to go inside also. So this is the sweetest way to create a container of Ubuntu as many times. See, D, remember D means detached, do not get attached. So create in interactive ways. See here, create in interactive way, and same time control PQ means detach also. One container, two container, three container, four containers, Docker PS, one container, two container, three container, four container, all this thing is mine right now. So see here, Jenkins is running in a daemonized mode. It runs automatically, never exit. So container is running. This not running in a daemonized mode. I made it interactive and then run it. When it is IT can be used only for the bin bash, not for anything else. Okay. So guys, this is the behavior of container. This is the behavior of container. Any questions so far, guys? Any questions? Okay, now this is easy, guys. You know that very well, how to access from outside. So now let me tell you here, outside, look at this mic screen, guys. Here, everyone understand this. How many containers I have a Jenkins? This is a web-based applications. So 80 port is running, right? So can I access from this or Docker IP address I want? Okay, so inspect this command, you have run it already. See IP address, here it is. So guys, this is IP address, ping from that machine. Wonderful. Can I access the Jenkins? Curl http www 8080. See guys, I can access Jenkins login page. But where are you? You are inside a VM. Can I access this one? Think about it. Very simple concept. Can I access this one? Nope. Why?
You need to expose it.
Yeah. Simple concept, guys. This is there from last 100 years. This networking, basic networking concept. What is happening? Let me explain you. Some of you might not be familiar, but some of you might be familiar. So you have to bear it out little bit time. See here, guys, what is happening? This is your home. Mind it. And this is a router. Your home. I'm talking about your home. And it's connected 3 laptop. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 1. So this is the router come bridge. Okay. And here this is connected with the 3 laptop. So now guys, these 3 laptop can talk to each other very well. But I am outside in my home. Can I access this laptop? No, you cannot do that. Because what happens, the scope of networking is local. Okay, scope of the networking of this device is local, always is local. Okay, so I cannot access these laptops. Same goes with here also, guys. Here you have how many containers running? These containers, how many, wait a second. How many containers are running? So many containers running. All these containers is powered by the bridge, which you can see here, if config. See here, this is a bridge. You see that the range, this is the gateway. Okay, this is the sub mask. So this is the bridge which is powering, virtual bridge. Okay, not a device, virtual bridge. So what is happening here is this bridge powering all the, now convert the same image. This is your VM. This is the Docker Giro, the one which I showed you. And this is a container. I can access anywhere inside a VM, but I cannot access from outside. So guys, there is a tricks we play. What do we play? We set the routing. So I cannot access this IP address. Mind it here, very simple tricks. I cannot access this IP address, but this IP address I can connect it if you want it. See here, this IP address you can connect it. This IP address you cannot connect it. I'm able to connect, right? This is the way I did the putty, right? IP address I got it. I am able to connect. It's public IP. So I can see here, I can connect and hit the communication to here, and here bridge will do what, you know, transfer that request to that particular container. Okay, so here understand that this container is running what, 8080. Think about it. This is 8080. This is 8080. But here I cannot use 8080 because here you have only one network. So 8080, 8081 and 8082. Okay. Are you understanding, guys, or not? This conceptually. This is called port forwarding. Guys, are you understanding? Yes. So guys, what I'm doing right now is these containers got exited. I mean, this got containers. You can do the forwarding through these containers also, guys. All these containers. But you know what? These containers, I'm not teaching you networking, so I'll not complicate the process. So these containers, I'm getting rid of it, because these containers, to do the port forwarding and all, you have to do some changes in the containers metadata and plus host file also. I'm not going to do that. I am not going to do that because I'm not teaching you networking. So what to do? Let me get rid of all these containers, guys. Docker stop and remove all containers. Magical commands. And I'm removing in one go because I got rid of that. I need to get rid of this container. So here, this command will stop all the container. And this command will delete all the containers, exited one. And you see here, I got the container free environment. No container is there. Now what to do now, guys? For accessing from outside, you are going to do Docker run -d Jenkins. This command you understand? Now guys, -p for port forwarding 8080. This is the first one is host port cunt port. I hope you understand this quick language. This is a host port. Host port means this one. And this is a cunt port mean container port. Okay. So here, from here, host port, it will redirect to here. So I cannot host port more than one. So you have to change only this one. Which containers always get the new IP address. Did you understand, guys? Did you understand? Okay, so here I'm doing this command. Done. One container. Two. You know what? One containers I will do without a -p. So I'll show you the difference actually. 3 containers. One without a port forwarding. See here. This is without a port forwarding. See here. This is with a port forwarding. This is with a port forwarding. 8080 to 8080, 8090 to 8090. Now can I hit this IP address? My node IP address. Mind it. I repeat, node IP address. Don't hit the IP address of the container itself. 8080 and last one, second one is 80, 90. And here you have a Jenkins accessible, should be coming.
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan and grow your skills immensely.
Guys, you got a Jenkins here. You got the Jenkins here. So guys, not only you can access from your host machine, which I taught you already, but you can access from outside as well. And which are the command I run? I must tell you. This is for internal. And this is for external. So guys, any questions so far? Any questions?
So, Rajesh, so it's like if we have 100 containers running,
Uh-huh.
so we have to basically expose so many different ports on the node machine like this for
Yeah.
every. Uh,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you want to access from outside.
okay, but today, like in our application, when we are running today, we expose only 80 port. Maybe that's where Kubernetes takes care, I think, on the stuff. We don't expose like this one by one for every port, like on the node machine.
Yes, sir. Correct. You are correct. So here it's just in a simple way. If I teach you, I'm just teaching you alphabet
Mhm.
of the container world. There are so many things you need to know, and Kubernetes also I'll teach you. That will take care of this entire things. The one which the problems which you foresee in your mind, I understand that, because for the load balancer to work, the IP address has to be different and port has to be same. But if I expose the same port, I mean different port, how the load balancer will work? So
Mm.
so yeah, we have a solution for every problems, and then we have a Kubernetes also, Swarm also. Many tools are there which you can use it. In a Docker itself, you can do that, but I'm not teaching you getting into the Docker networking drivers and all. You change the drivers, you will get the things different way. But right now, I'm not getting into that. But yeah, Kubernetes I'll teach you, which is a part of the training tomorrow onwards.
Okay.
So it's in a simple way. We are all learning the alphabet of world of containers. Then you need to know 10 more tools to bring the container technology to the uh, production level, like a Kubernetes, Docker Compose, Consul, uh, Ambassador, Istio, and some platform uh, like open see Reddit. I forgot that. Just now it's gone that out of.
Open.
Yeah. So many tools are there here to bring this technology. I'm just scratching the surface and making you comfortable.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, guys. So let's do the little bit of recap here. So here I taught you how to use container, because yesterday you run that container. It was very simple, but you have to use it. So before that, guys, you see the different behavior and you get frustrated. If you don't want to get frustrated, please remember only simple rule. Hard code in your mind till you understand that. These are the commands I use to prove it. I told you what is the behavior of run. I told you what is the behavior of run -d. Then I taught you how to go inside a container using exec way and then attach way, and how to come out of as well. Okay, and then I taught you how to access the container from outside using container IP address, or exposing the container at the host machine and accessing from that out of the host machine also. You can do that. I hope it is clear. Anyone have any questions?
Please enroll our general membership for $399 plan to get access of all the parts.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.